Dear students, welcome to this first chart of the last chapter we're going to cover in this semester one. And this chapter, as you know, is related to future uh, tenses, okay, or future time. So in this chart, we're going to talk about the forms that are normally used as a general introduction, the forms that are usually used for using the simple future. Okay, so and these forms are will and be going to. So you have example A and B. It will snow tomorrow. It is going to snow tomorrow. So we can use these two forms, will or be going to plus verb, in order to express the future simple. So according to the explanation you have here, so will and be going to express future time. Okay, they express the future time, both of them, and often have essentially the same meaning. Okay, generally speaking, these two forms, they have the same meaning. Okay, as in examples A and B have the same meaning. Okay, but as we are going to see in the following charts, there are some situations where there are some differences between using will for expressing the future and be going to for expressing the future simple too, so which we are going to cover in the following charts. Now let's start with the first one, will. You have here another example. The weather will turn cold tonight. The weather will turn cold tonight. So will, as we know, it typically expresses predictions about the future. It expresses predictions about the future, like something that might be true, that might happen in the future. So that's a prediction coming from the verb to predict. Okay. And there are a few things we have to bear in mind when we use this will. So the first one is that will, as you can see here, will does not take the final S. Example, which is incorrect. The weather wills turn cold. Will is followed immediately by the simple form of the verb. That is to say, the infinitive without to. That's the meaning of the simple form of the verb, infinitive without to. So the weather will turns out, so also incorrect. And also the last one here is incorrect. The weather will to turn cold. So here you can see that the infinitive is preceded by the preposition to, okay, infinitive with to. And as we have said, it is followed by the simple form of the verb. Let's say we're going to say the weather will turn cold. Right? The negative form, as you can see here, will plus not. So it is abbreviated as won't. It will not warm up for several days. This is the full form, complete form of the negative form of the auxiliary will for expressing the future simple. If we want to use the contraction form, we're going to say the snow won't smell. Okay, the snow won't melt. Sorry, the snow won't melt soon. Okay, here you have the contracted form of the abbreviated form. For the interrogative form, we say will. We make the inversion as we usually do. We make the inversion between the auxiliary will and the subject. So normally the subject comes first, and then followed by will, followed by the main verb. Okay, but in the interrogative form, we're going to make an inversion of the auxiliary and the subject. So the auxiliary becomes first, and the subject becomes second, and then we put the simple form of the main verb. Example: will it be icy tomorrow? Will it be icy tomorrow? So we have the auxiliary will first, followed by the subject, followed by the simple form of the main verb, be. How will you get here? Will, auxiliary first, subject second, and then the simple form of the verb of the main verb, get. So will you get? How will you get here? Now this is regarding the auxiliary will. If we want to use be going to, so also sometimes we can use be going to for expressing the prediction. So as you have in the explanation here, be going to also can also be used to commonly express predictions about the future. That you say to say that something might happen in the future. Okay, so snow is going to continue all week. The roads are going to be icy. So here we're using be going to. The same way we can use will as well. Okay. Concerning the negative form, so we have be followed by the negation, not, followed by going to. As an example, I'm not going to go out. So we have the I am not going to go out. So you have be here, followed by the negation, followed by going to plus the simple form of the verb here. We have the verb go. And then you can have other examples, sorry. The next thing we're going to mention here is regarding the interrogative form. So we have the interrogative form, be plus subject plus go into. Okay, so be plus subject plus go into. So the same way we have seen here in the question, we make an inversion. We also do the same thing here. We make an inversion between the auxiliary be and the subject. So normally subject should be first and then followed by be. But in the interrogative form or in the question, the be comes first, or the auxiliary be comes first, followed by the subject, followed by go into, followed by the simple form of the main verb. An example, is the storm going to be dangerous? So here I have auxiliary first, be, followed by the subject, the storm, followed by go into, followed by the simple form of the main verb, which is here be. Is the storm going to be dangerous? Thank you, and see you in the next chart.